And a good Sunday evening to you. Welcome into the Rob and Kale Show. I'm Rob Sanders. Thanks for checking us out this evening. As we roll along, we're getting closer and closer to college football season. I want to welcome in my podcast co-host. He is in the upstate of South Carolina, where you can throw a rock and hit Death Valley. He is Mr. Carolina Jackpot, Kale Hall. Kale, what's up, buddy?
Not much. I'm doing well, better than I deserve. Hope everything's going well down there in the Pearl that is in the middle of the oyster that is the state of South Carolina, that being Columbia.
Yeah, we're holding our own on here. We appreciate everyone checking us out this evening. Tonight we do our conference championship picks. Now this isn't a Jackpot put out his video, by the way, and I watched a good piece of it today for his pick by pick for South Carolina this year. It is the most honest video Jackpot has ever done. Ever. There was no bias in it. There was none of that nonsense of, Clemson beat us 56-7. It was nothing that Clemson did. No, it was all honesty today. So if you want some honest Jackpot and a pretty much what I think might be a spot on pick 'em for South Carolina, you really should go and check out that video. It's right there on the Carolina Jackpot YouTube channel. I tip my hat to you, sir, because you did your homework, and I was very proud of you. I mean, I really, really was. I know I'm not just mocking you about, being unbiased or whatever. I'm just saying top of the line video there. And if you're a South Carolina fan, you should share that with everyone that you know, because there are some, I call them suitcase fans. They're just now getting back into college football and haven't really been following along. They can look smart by watching Carolina Jackpot's pick by pick video there. So make sure you share it with them. So good job on that today, sir.
Well, thank you for the kind words there. I didn't put as much research into that one as what I normally do. I went off the cuff with a lot of that. A lot of those facts I just know. I mean, just off the top of my head. So that's from studying the game. And like you said, there are a lot of those suitcase fans out there who don't really follow college football during the offseason. And if you're not following during the offseason, you're really going to be lost, because there are so many changes that happen within the course of an offseason now that there's no way that you can prepare yourself for the season if you don't. It's almost like you're a player. You got to prepare yourself too. Just like they have to prepare their bodies, you have to prepare your mind. Stay sharp.
Well, or you can just watch Jackpot's video there if you're a Gamecock fan and not prepare your mind. Just spend the little bit of time that's there and watch that, and you'll know everything you need to know heading into the season. He breaks down the quarterback position, the running backs, all of it. And then he tells you a little bit about each team that South Carolina plays and gives you what he thinks is going to happen.
Yeah, I bet a lot of people didn't know that Rich Rodriguez coaches Jacksonville State. And I didn't know that until I read Phil Steele's magazine. That's a weird one, too. And a lot of those facts I get from Phil Steele. He has like power ratings he does. And on Jacksonville State, he has them. They're like the most all over the place team in FBS. He has one set of power ratings calling for him to win 2 games and one set calling for him to win like 9 games. So who knows what the heck can happen with that one. We know our buddies down at Florida State know what it's like to lose to Jacksonville State. So
Yeah.
it's certainly not out of the realm of possibility that somebody could drop one to them, but I don't think it's going to be us.
All right. Well, Jackpot, we first of all, I want to thank our sponsors and thank Callaway's Bar and Grill for sponsoring the Callaway's Pick'em Challenge. People have been getting in left and right. I put out a video today with the tutorial on how to fill out your own form, because for some of you guys, there's some of you that may not be quite as tech savvy as others. I wanted to make sure that everybody knew how to do it, and it'll save us emails and everything else down the line, to be completely honest with you. The link for that video is in the show description there. If you don't know how to do it, don't feel bad. It's right there for you. I break it down for you. Very, very simple. That's why we did it, because trust me, there'll be 20 people, I'm sure, this week. I don't know how to fill out the form. I don't know. Well, now you do, because I showed you right there. It's simple. It's a how-to video that's right there in the description. By the way, week one's picks are already up, Jackpot, at robandkaleshow.com. You can go
Awesome.
and start submitting your picks now. If you want to do that, have at it. Or you could be like our buddy Nathan Medlin and submit 30 damn picks like he normally does.
Yeah, he does changes a lot.
Yeah. So you can do that.
They're over there in the comment section. Somebody's talking about West Virginia YouTubers. God rest the soul of old Golden Blue Dude. This is probably not a season coming up for them that he'd want to see. Did watch a couple of West Virginia YouTubers last night. They're called the Raspy Voice Kids. Raspy Voice Kids. Couple black dudes. They're pretty funny. They put a video up called, they do it every year, every game, Why We Hate Dada insert team here. And last night was Why We Hate Penn State. And they were, cracking on their uniforms and all that stuff. It's pretty funny. They don't get unclassy and talk about the Jerry Sandusky thing or anything. At least I didn't hear that part. But I hate it for them, because they're going to get absolutely punished by Penn State. That's going to be an ugly game for the old Mountaineers.
Yeah. So Brad asked how he can get into the Pick'em. I just posted the link over there. There's the link right there. It's also in the show description. So,
and I want to take a moment, if you don't mind, Rob. I'm going to read off the list of people that I have in the contest so far.
Sure.
It's getting long. So if you don't hear your name called, look, just go back and listen to it again, because you might hear it. And look, if you send your money in, please don't message me and ask me if I got your money. I don't have time to respond to all those, and I might not even see it. So just rest assured, if you sent it, it says it's sent, then I got it. And Wednesday night, I'll read all these folks off again. I'll probably do a couple more videos trying to promote the contest between now and then, and listen to that too, because I'll read these names off again. But let me spill them out real quick. I have Tommy Tamami, Daniel Gregory, Twisted Rooster, Ken Bellinger, The Biscuit, Volunteers, Larry's Losers, Little Jerry Seinfeld, Dane Roberts, Frank Tradicki, Mr. USC Troy, Tiger in the Burrow, South Carolina, Malarkey, Leonard Sarasota, J Rock, Elijah Allen, Bible Belt Beauties, Bulldog JC, Driller Deep, Roll Tide, Quentin Broom, SEC Dog, Gary Todd, Clemson Dillon, Wilkie, Joe Anders, Kentucky Durbin, Mrs. Kentucky Durbin, Vic Tube, Howard McNair, Carolina Jackpot, Rob Sanders, Big Marty Ross, Jay Shipes, BVD, Billy Cole, Pigskin Pete, Hoghead, Bob Rutherford, Berto, Tiger Gerald, Mountain Mama, Justin Hembry, C. Rizzle, Mike Gentry, shout out to the Frito-Lay Man, Kyle Lee, Scott Gentry, Snake Doctor, Dr. Bark, Drew Grove, Beth Webb, Chip Smith, Jackpot Jr., Coda VFL, Chef K. Diz, DeQuavis, Harry Legg, Sir UGAAA, Big Game Bowers, Will Eubanks, Troy Moses, Baylor Man, MIZ, The Sly One, Gary Mills, Nathan Medlin, Bill Muse, Sally Fleming, James Fleming, Gamecock Chuck, Colby Dubose, Ruggs Driving School, Rich Long, James Stone, Ray Mahaffey, and the Comrade, who, by the way, sent $31.30 as an entry fee, and we do appreciate that, sir.
We have a couple of folks that get free entries. Ben Simmons is one of them. I'm taking care of Ben's. And we have Mike Muse. Billy Muse sent his own stuff.
Ben Simmons, that rich bastard doesn't need you to take care of his fee.
Easy, sir. You did not mention Pigskin Pete there. He's obviously in the mix too.
I did mention Pigskin Pete.
Okay,
right after Billy Cole and right before Hoghead.
I'm fucking stupid then. And don't forget Mike Hughes and Dennis Wilson. We appreciate them as well.
Deaf.
Yeah, I deaf or stupid. One of the others.
You're deaf. You're not stupid. And I forgot the illustrious Dennis Wilson.
Yeah, Dennis is jacked up and ready to play. So yeah, I mean, but here's the best part. Peg and Megan, by the way, we try to get him to join this thing. I mean, he needs to defend the title from last season, from finishing dead fucking last. Yeah. So.
Yeah, Bow Hunting 101 hasn't gotten in. Uncle Lou asked. Uncle Lou hasn't not joined. Uncle Lou is free to join, or not free to join. He can join for $15. He's a college football YouTuber. Obviously, we'd like to see Uncle Lou in here share some knowledge. But fair warning, he'd probably win it. He's lucky like that. I have a new friend that kind of going to be around this evening, just listening to the show. This is an alpaca that we picked up today at the La Vista Flea Market in Pendergrass, Georgia. Thought it was called the Pendergrass Flea Market. It's called the La Vista Flea Market. There were a lot of people there of a Hispanic persuasion, we should say. But they did sell me this alpaca, and in honor of the clientele there today, his name is Carlos.
Fair enough. Austin wants to know how to get into the contest. It's right there. I just sent the link. It's also in the description. There's going to be a ton of people that get in by Friday.
Yeah.
We've got a huge pot now.
We're well on the way to having the largest pot ever, and I'm certainly excited about that. I'd like to see a Brandon Kuhn jump in here. Brandon Kuhn, I don't see in the chat tonight. He's usually over here. He'll probably rewatch this video. Brandon Kuhn, if you are alive, please jump on in this here contest.
All right. So Dennis Wilson says, who won the last football pick'em? That would be Dennis fucking Wilson. That's who won the last one there. So yeah, shout out to Dennis. By the way, Dennis sponsors this fine program. And I tell you what, he has been a sponsor for a long time. And he's one of my favorite sponsors. He's one of Jackpot's favorite sponsors too. But he does fireside chats with Uncle Jackpot. Jackpot, tell us a story, sir.
Let's see what kind of crap we got this.
I want some feelings, sir.
I'm going to read this thing like it's going to be read. Okay. Mm-hmm. It sucks to be a Gamecock. Talking season is almost over. Our 9-3 wishes turn into a 6-6 reality. We are a gong show. It sucks to be a Gamecock. Go Tigers.
That message courtesy of Dennis Wilson, DNC Trucking.
I don't necessarily know that if you finish with a 6-6 record in the toughest conference in college football, and you go to a bowl game, you just qualify as the second hardest schedule in the country. You qualify as a gong show, but
they're a gong show. Look, and by the way, please, Jackpot. You put out a great video earlier talking about all the great stuff that South Carolina has, but in the end, you're not one of these 9-3 motherfuckers that are running around saying, "Oh my God, we're going to go 9-3," which I have seen.
9-3, I'd be ecstatic. I'm not going to lie. I mean, we haven't had a 9-win season since God. Will Muschamp had one back in 2017, but that was kind of a little bit of. I don't know. It was a 9-3 or it was a 9-4, I think, finish, but they, kind of they stepped on their hoo-hoo a little bit in that one. And all
right. Well, so Pete says I just bookmarked the site. He's going to join the pick chat. Hey man, make sure you get in. I mean, that's all I can tell you. All right, so Jackpot, let's do our conference championship picks here, and then we'll take some folks on the link there.
Hold on, got a over in the chat. I've got a request here from Courtney Joe. I've also had one from some other folks to give you a "Oh, we don't care, we don't care." Boom.
Oh. So there's a site that I use called yarn.co, and you really should try yarn.co because you can just type in any word, right? And it'll give you a something from a movie where that word is at. So every time I hear Jackpot say that, I automatically think of this. Let's see if it'll play it. I don't know if you couldn't hear it. Okay, well, I got to figure that out.
A broken toy. I don't know. I didn't hear anything.
No, you didn't hear anything? Oh, my goodness. I thought you would be able to hear that through there. I don't know why it didn't do that.
Normally I am hearing like a bird. But
yeah, well, anyway.
That didn't land. What was I going to say here? Kentucky Durbin says the Brosters at 9-3 sounds like a Hallmark production. Fantasy. Yeah, his team went 9-3 a few years ago, and they finished 9-3. Of course, they're like 5-3 with a mediocre SEC record, and then they bolster it up with wins over like Youngstown State, UT Chattanooga, Miami of Ohio, and of course the tough game against Northern Illinois. But we won't go there. We won't talk about that schedule.
Well, what conference do you want to start with first, sir?
You pick them, sir.
All right, let's go with the Big Ten. My Big Ten pick, it's easy to pick Michigan there, but I kind of like Penn State, and I like them because they've got playmakers on the defensive side of the ball. Abdul Carter at linebacker, Chop Robinson, the edge rusher, and Kalen King is a lockdown corner that's going to be a first-round draft pick, I believe, at some point. This could be the best offensive line that James Franklin has had in his time at Penn State. They do have some star running backs, Nick Singleton and Katron Allen. I think they're going to win the Big Ten. They are my pick. If it's not them, it's going to be Michigan. Ohio State can go to hell as far as I'm concerned. Who do you got, Jackpot?
Dad is heavy.
Much as I would like to pick Penn State, because I like Penn State a lot, they do play Michigan. They get them at home,
right?
But I kind of got to go with Michigan again after what I saw from last year. They returned so much. Penn State does have a really strong backfield. I think the new quarterback they have there, Drew Allar, is going to be an upgrade over what they had. It's supposed to be. But the Michigan kid is more proven. J.J. McCarthy. Michigan also has kind of a really very, very easy non-conference schedule to kind of tune up on before things get started. The first half of the season, the schedule is just so easy. I mean, I think they could just kind of roll in there, and I think they end up winning the thing. I would go with Ohio State. I mean, they're pretty dynamic, especially on the outside. Got some really good running backs too, but brand new quarterback there. I'm sure he's talented, but I want to go with what I know, and what I know is what I saw from Michigan last year.
All right, let's go to the Pac-12 next. My pick in the Pac-12, I like Washington, and I like Washington because I think Michael Penix is a guy that has a legitimate shot to go win the Heisman Trophy. They normally give it to a quarterback. They're going to have a guy from the West Coast that's going to steal a lot of votes. And I think he has something that can really help him. He's got both of his offensive tackles back, and he's got one of the best receiving groups in the country with Roma Dunze, Jalen McMillan, and Jalen Polk. All of those guys returning. I like Washington to win the Pac-12.
I want to kind of go off script here, and I am going to go with an upset pick to win the Pac-12. I am going. What?
You going with the Beeve?
No, I'm going to go with UCLA. I'm just looking over their schedule. They avoid Washington. They avoid Oregon. Of course, they're going to run into somebody in a conference championship game, but when you don't play those kind of teams, you kind of fatten yourself up a little bit. And Rob, you know how that goes with not having to play real tough teams during the season. You kind of stay injury free all year long.
You're exactly right. We schedule an SEC East team every season, and they end up being the shit. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, yeah, I can't help that what Georgia and them have done in the past, but the last time they played, they beat you. Yeah, they also, I think, have a huge coaching advantage there with Chip Kelly. He's got more experience than a Kalen DeBoer. Certainly has more experience than Lincoln Riley, excuse me. Lincoln Riley's defense, I think, is a question mark. But saying they do avoid Washington and Oregon, they play USC, rival game. It's a road game, but is it really a road game? They have a freshman quarterback coming in, ton of talent. I think they pull a shocker. It's not likely, but there are like 5 teams there that could win that conference. They really could. You got USC, Utah, Oregon, UCLA, Washington,
and Southern.
You could want to throw the Beeve in there. You can. That's like 6 teams that I think have that. I wouldn't be surprised if they won that conference there. And it's like a really top-heavy conference, and the back end of it is horrible.
Yep, that's true. UCLA is not a bad pick. I don't really have a problem with that. I like Penix Jr. out there. I think he's going to throw a lot of touchdowns. So
yeah, like I say, the only question I have there is the coach. Just not a lot of experience.
Kansas, the Big 12. I'm going to go with Kansas State taking the Big 12. Now I know the media is going to tell you it's going to be Texas, which is what they tell us every year, and it's going to be Oklahoma. Oh my goodness, Oklahoma's great. I'm going to go with Kansas State, and I'll tell you why. They did lose, as Jockpot calls him, drop a deuce Vaughn, but TJ Giddens last year ran for 518 yards and 6 touchdowns on just 89 carries. That's impressive. Also, Trayshawn Ward arrives from Florida State from the transfer portal, and their entire starting offensive line is back. They're going to rush their way to the Big 12 championship, in my opinion, because I think Texas is a fraud, and Oklahoma, I mean, I think it's going to take a little bit longer than a one season for Venables to get that defense the way that he wants it. So I think Kansas State's winning the Big 12.
Rob, do you think Kansas State wins against Eli Drinkwitz?
Oh, they're going to mop the floor with those guys.
No, I'm not sure about that, but okay. Me, I'm looking at you already mentioned it. Texas just I can't trust Texas to win the Big 12, even though they're favored. I know they have the most talent. I know on paper they should win it. There's no reason they shouldn't win the Big 12. But in its final season and their final season over there, I like Brent Venables in Oklahoma. You look at them, they lost a lot of close games last year. And, looking at this schedule, they avoid Kansas State. They avoid Texas Tech, who are de facto kind of like your 3 and 4 teams there that are capable of pulling some upsets. They do have Texas. They owe them one, though, from that 49-0 beatdown last year. I think this one comes back to the norm, and we see the Red River Shootout be the game that it has been in the past. I like the Sooners over in the Big 12 in their final season there. I think Dylan Gabriel's a good quarterback, and I just think they have some pieces there. They return most of their offensive line intact, return 6 starters over on defense, but I think that defense is going to be improved a lot. They've recruited well. So give me the Sooners.
All right, so let's go to the ACC jackpot. It's, there's a lot of talk about Florida State. I think that they're going to be exposed. I think LSU is going to mop the floor with them in the first game of the season. I like Clemson to win the conference, and my sleeper team, though, is North Carolina. They avoid both FSU and Louisville in conference play, and I think they'll be mathematically alive when they go to play Clemson on November the 18th. And because their schedule isn't really that tough as far as ACC play goes, it just the way the schedule is set up for North Carolina, if they get any kind of defense and May plays like the first round pick that he's capable of being, then I think they're the kind of the dark horse there. And I think that November 18th matchup will be maybe for one of the teams to go to Charlotte. I really, really believe that. I'm not buying Florida State. I'm not buying Miami either, but I think Clemson will roll along there. Another team to look at is Pitt. Pitt's always good. They're consistently really good. They could really, Narduzzi just keeps running teams out there. They keep going 8-4, 9-3, whatever. They're always solid. They always play good defense, and they're always nasty as far as the offensive line goes. So Pitt's another team that could trip some folks up. What do you got, Jackpot?
The Biscuit in the comment section said it all. UNC is a pretender. And I kind of agree with him there. They lost a lot, or they won. They lost some close game, they won a lot of close games last year against terrible competition. And then down the stretch, when they had the ACC Coastal wrapped up, they just laid down and lost to a terrible Georgia Tech team and an NC State team that they were better than. I think they're soft. I'm not sold on them. I'm not sold on Florida State either. They're going to have to prove it to me. I'm picking Clemson to win the thing, but there's a dark horse there too as well, and you're going to laugh at me, but Louisville plays a ridiculously easy schedule. They bring in a new coach in Jeff Brom, alumni. He's going to get some energy back in that program. They've always got some good athletes. Defensively, they're always challenged, but I think they could potentially end up in an ACC championship game if the cards fall right.
God, I can't believe you went there. All right, and then finally the SEC before we take some folks here on the show. In the SEC, there's a lot of talk about LSU possibly winning the West again, and I think that a lot of people they're beating the shit out of Alabama saying, hey, they don't have any answers at quarterback. But when I look at the rest of what Alabama has, it is a lot of 4- and 5-star players that are rated very, very high with the best coach in college football, in my opinion, in Nick Saban. I like Alabama to win the West and go 11-1. In the East, Georgia's going to stub their toe somewhere because, and I say that not to be disrespectful to the Bulldogs, it's just hard going 36-0 over 3 seasons. And I don't trust Mike Bobo. I think he's an absolute clown, and he's going to cost them a game somewhere. The best example of that is, hey, let's not give the ball to Todd Gurley, averaging 8 yards a carry against South Carolina, 1st and goal on the 4. Let's not give the ball to Gurley.
Let's not give the ball to Saint Bigsby. Let's have our terrible quarterback throw a pass on 4th and 1.
Yeah, let's not give it to the SEC's leading rusher. This is last season. Let's not make that play call. That, and he's a disgusting human being for what he did to South Carolina, leaving in the middle of the night. He is a cancer that will eventually screw over the Georgia program. So with that, I think it'll cost them this year, and they'll go 11-1. Alabama and Georgia in the SEC championship game, and I think Georgia's got more talent. I think, even though it's squeezing blood from a turnip there, but I think Georgia wins the SEC over Alabama at the end of the season. So what do you got, Jackpot?
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. They almost did it last year. They were a little bit short. I think Tennessee pulls it off. What? I'm not laughing.
All right.
I mean, that offense has been rolling. They get Georgia at home. I think they have every bit the capability of knocking them off. Last year, if they hadn't played them in the rain, things would have been different at Sanford Stadium. They got a quarterback who can throw the ball over the mountains over there. And I just really, defensively, I think they're going to be much better than last year, especially on the back end. I mean, they stopped the run good last year. They did. They stopped the run good, and I think their secondary is going to be shored up. And they're kind of my upset pick to win the SEC.
Taking a beating in the chat room there, Jackpot. But, hey, it's his picks, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. So there's our picks. If you want to join the program, you can do so by clicking the link that's over here in the comment section. Jackpot picking Tennessee to win the SEC this season. I'm picking the Georgia Bulldogs. And, we went down our picks there. These are so hard to pick because a lot of times you don't know about injuries and everything else, but we shall see how that rolls. Who wants to join the program? The link is in the description there. Have at it. E-Machine says you wouldn't bet on it. Look, Jackpot bet.
I've already bet everything for the first week or so that I'm going to. I'm not giving out anymore.
Hold on just a second. I pulled a note for Jackpot. We talk about that Duke game. They lost their right tackle, Andre Harris, their guard, Chance Little, their center, Jack Burns, their reserve tackle, John Gelati. They lost 3 transfers that, were coming into the program. Dan Volpe, Dustin Hall, Mike Purcell. All these guys were slated to be in the mix for that Blue Devils offensive line this year. And you're talking about Riley Leonard, who led them in passing and rushing.
What are we talking about here?
I'm saying that Jackpot made one pick this year with Duke, and I don't know if he did enough research on the Blue Devils to look at the problems that they're going to have on that offensive line, where Riley Leonard may die on September the 4th.
Duke is returning 10 starters. I don't know
what I read. They lost their right tackle. They lost.
What, did he get injured in fall camp this week? Yep. I mean,
I read that earlier today. Let's bring the Biscuit onto the program, sir. Biscuit joins us. What do you have for the program, sir?
No, I was wondering. Jackpot did a great video today, and I was wondering if, as he was walking out of his yard back into his house again, did he step on a rake and hit himself in the head?
No.
Oh, you didn't. So you do think Tennessee's going to win the SEC?
Yes.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Did you say the SEC or just the East?
I think they're going to win the whole shebang. They're going to the SEC championship game, and they're going to beat either Alabama or LSU.
Wow, with an overthrowing quarterback and no defense.
Sir, he's working on his mechanics. He's gotten better. Did you not see what he did at the end of the season last year? I mean, He destroyed a Vanderbilt team that was granted, I know it's Vanderbilt. He destroyed a team that was coming off of 2 conference wins in a row, had all the confidence in the world. He beat them down 56-0. Then he went down to the Orange Bowl and he beat Clemson. They had a few defensive starters out, but still a really good Clemson team. And he beat them with a bunch of backups.
If you start a sentence with, he's a great quarterback, because let me tell you about his Vanderbilt game. I tune out after that.
Sir,
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. He's a talented guy.
He didn't.
The problem with him is that, have you seen? Okay, so if he were consistently a good passer, I would say that. But even in he throws some errant stuff sometimes, and he reminds me a lot of, like, I guess I don't know who I compare him to, like Jamarcus Russell. Do you remember that guy at LSU who had the?
Yes.
He could throw 60 yards from his knees. And he was a good quarterback, but he's not the guy you trust in games. He's not the guy that you late in games want to, if you need a touch pass for 15 yards for a first down. He's not that guy. And he's also not as elusive as what Hendon Hooker is too. So I think that's going to affect them a bit. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible. You're not, it's not like you called Vanderbilt to win the SEC, but I think that's a reach a little bit, but I mean, I think in a couple of years with a few more recruiting classes, they could certainly compete. But I don't know. It's gonna be tough. Again, Georgia does go to Tennessee. It's gonna be tough. That's gonna be a tough game. That's gonna be a hornet's nest for Georgia, no doubt.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
And I'm not saying it's impossible.
Georgia's toughest game of the year, hands down.
But
hands down.
But you're gonna need to. You guys have been. It makes me laugh every time you have to explain how to sign up for that Pick'em challenge. It seems like every 30 seconds someone's asking you guys how to sign in. You might have to provide a fax machine for Bama fans, or you're going to probably need someone for 24-hour support on that. I don't know if you know what you're taking on.
Well, yeah, and Rob did a good tutorial today on that. It was only about 6 minutes long. He's going to link that down in the description box of this video, and I'm going to link it in all future videos about the contest. It tells you exactly how to submit your picks, and signing up for the contest is pretty simple too. You just go to the same place.
Gotcha.
There's a link to sign up. There's a link to submit your first week of picks.
Yeah, so I'll give you. Yeah, I'm good. I don't need instruction. I'm good on. I know how to do it.
Oh, I know.
I'm fine, man. But I'll give you my conference picks. I have first in the SEC. I tried really hard to pick someone else because I know I'm going to be called a homer. I really do have Georgia. I think just odds are probably the deepest team, least questions at quarterback in combination. The schedule is easier this year, obviously. I think they win the SEC against Alabama. I think LSU. Everybody keeps talking about Alabama's going to lose all these games. Do you know how hard it is to go into Tuscaloosa and win? Texas, LSU. I mean, all those teams go into Tuscaloosa. How many games has Nick Saban lost since he's been there? 6, maybe in 15 years. I can't remember what the number is. It takes a tremendous effort to win that.
I know he lost to UL Monroe.
Yeah, that was year one though. That was year one. We'll give him a break on that one. I have Clemson, and here's the funny thing: Clemson. I can't give you another. I have no idea who's going to be the second team that plays in the championship game. I think honestly there are going to be a bunch of 2-loss teams in the conference, and there's going to be some weird tiebreaker that gets someone like Georgia Tech or Virginia Tech or someone like that into the championship.
How about Wake Forest?
Possibly.
It could be them.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think it's going to be a crazy mix-up, and someone who's 8-4 or 9-3 is going to get in. They're going to have 2 losses in the conference. I think USC is really overhyped. I think Oregon has the most talent. Second year for Lanning. I'm picking him. I think Oklahoma, I don't think is going to win. I'm going to go with them just because I picked them to do better than what they're supposed to do because I think everybody's down on them. I think they're going to win 10 games. I don't know if they'll win the conference, but I'll just go ahead and go with them because it would be weird for me to say that's my big surprise and they don't win the conference. So I'll take them. Michigan, I'm not believing the Penn State hype until they do something. Until they can win some big games, Franklin can't win big games. He did a great job at Vanderbilt, but since he's been at Penn State, he doesn't win big games. Penn State, I'll throw some shade at Georgia just to show I'm not just a complete homer. Penn State reminds me of Georgia in the 90s. We would come into every year. There would be 2 top 5 teams in front of us, Tennessee and Florida, and we'd be ranked 12th or 13th. And we'd say, this is the year we get past them. And very rarely did it happen. I just don't see Penn State doing it until
it reminds me of a lot of Mark Richt teams. Almost there.
Well, Mark Richt, here's the thing with Mark Richt, though. Mark Richt was almost there several times. Jim Donnan wasn't almost there. Ray Goff certainly wasn't almost there. I mean, yes. Mark Richt had a few games where one little tip pass, and we are in the championship game, or we, particularly that 2012 championship against Bama. And I'm taking Georgia Southern to win the Sun Belt. You guys didn't touch on that.
I like the Sun Belt. Why not?
Yeah, you got to throw that in there, man.
No love for is that. I haven't even. They moved a lot of those teams, got shifted around with the UCF and Houston and all that went to the Big 12, so it created some openings. So there were a lot of changes. Some of those conferences. I know UTSA went to the American.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. App State, I guess, is still in the Fun Belt.
Yeah, it's almost like we need another WAC, another team that just throws the ball everywhere. Do you remember that conference? We had all those teams.
WAC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
WAC. Was it Western Athletic?
Yeah, I kind of got absorbed in the Mountain West. They all kind of got absorbed together.
All right, guys. Well, I've obviously taken too much of your time, but we'll talk again soon. Good luck with your Tennessee pick, Jackpot. Good luck with that.
Thank you. Go
man.
Vols. Go GBO, baby.
There you go. Thanks to the Biscuit for joining the program. By the way, if you want to get in on the show, we'll I'm gonna post the link over here. Biscuit giving us his picks. Hey, you could do yours too. Or
yeah, I listened to the old Morgan and JC podcast this past week, and they were talking about the conference realignment stuff and how sad it is that the Beeve and Washington State, which are teams that, I mean, you know, they haven't won a whole lot traditionally, but they're still part of the tapestry that is college football, and it's kind of like they're just getting left out in the cold. Just doesn't seem right. And where are they going to get absorbed? Who's going to take these orphans in?
yeah, they're the Oliver Twist of the expansion, right?
Yeah, I mean Cal and Stanford. I mean those teams have, there's a lot of football history there. It just seems nuts.
All right. Well, so there's our picks.
Maybe they'll join the Southern Conference.
Why not? I mean, why not? Work out for them. And the SoCon,
I picked them to that game against Furman. I think it'll be a little bit too close for comfort in the first half. I think South Carolina will pull away and ultimately win. But Clemson played Furman last year, and if I'm not mistaken, they didn't just pound Furman into the ground. I think they won. It was like a 35-12 or something like that.
So it's like the SoCon always has like some really good football in it, in my opinion. So, I mean, I remember the days of Wofford and Furman and all those teams being really good. And then you'd have the Citadel used to have some great teams as well. So,
oh, I know.
I wasn't mocking you. I'm just saying they used to have some really good teams there. And SoCon was stacked at one point.
They fell off a little bit though.
Yeah.
VMI has always been kind of down.
Kind of the shits, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway, the link is over there if you'd like to get involved with the show. There you go. That's how you can get involved with the show. Thanks to Biscuit for coming on and checking the show out. Thanks to you folks for getting involved with the Callaway's Pick'em Challenge. We're way on our way to our biggest jackpot ever. I mean, this is going to be huge.
Yeah, and it's crazy that the past two winners of the contest, neither one of those individuals has entered this year. They said, "Hey, I'm good." I don't know.
Well, Christian Young just had a baby, so he's probably got he's not getting much sleep at night. So that may be why he hasn't entered. And then who was it last year? I can't remember.
Someone named Carlos Klein.
Oh yeah, Carlos Klein, get your shit together.
Yeah.
Let's see here. People in the chat: Low Elo Joe, Chris Kaysen, Michelle, Jonathan, Billy. Thank you guys for joining the program, checking us out a little bit this evening. Nobody gets prime.
Chris Kaysen says losing football jackpot. I don't know what that means.
I have no clue what that means either.
Explain yourself.
Biscuit says, I think we both end up in the championship game. You're probably right. Probably right. Wouldn't it be weird if Kentucky has Jackpot was talking about Kentucky in the in his video today. What if Kentucky has their season of seasons and they end up finishing second for the last year of the SEC East? Never won the East. They finish right there at the end where it's like, damn it.
They've never been to Columbia. Never been to Atlanta.
Well, they I'm sure some of them have bought tickets and watched the game. Come on, Jackpot. All right. Welcome to the program. Good evening.
Just munching on my Utz sourdough special blend, courtesy of Jackpot.
There you go.
But it does fall off the back of
Let me
Jackpot.
tell you,
You got him?
Never have I graced my palate with a finer pretzel. Just astounding.
They are. That's that's food of the gods. Really.
Dude, you're telling me. But listen, it saddens me you don't have faith in the beef to come out on top this year. I thought for sure they were, when you said you got a surprise team, they were shooing.
If they start, I'm not going to go ahead and say that. I think they're just missing a few pieces. They're only returning 4 starters on their defense, so that could be kind of problematic.
They got
in a conference where you got to stop somebody.
Not sure. Well, Rob, what you said about Kentucky, this is not happening.
I'm laughing at I'm laughing at some of these folks over here. Roll Todd says, "Hey, look, it's corn cob."
What the fuck?
Lisa says it's the confused guy. Billy goes, "This guy's a Clemson grad and he's running around in this South Carolina shirt." I mean, apparently, Biscuit says he's less Claypool of
Rob,
I don't blame him. I mean, he graduated from Clemson. He knows firsthand how shitty they are.
Oh, Jesus. That is some funny shit there, Biscuit.
Rob,
with the deep cut.
Kentucky stands no chance at getting second in the East. Devin Leary will probably be out by week 5.
Jay, as I pulled my headphone,
Ball State's going to knock him out there.
Matthew McConaughey from when he was on Dallas Buyers Club.
I don't see Jay. Tell Jay to call up. Let's see what Jay looks like. I haven't seen Jay ever call up. He's steady typing in the chat box though every week. Tell Jay to call up.
Jay is a keyboard assassin, sir.
Yeah, that enter key is worn down, man. It doesn't even say anything anymore. He's used it so much.
Oh man,
that's funny coming from a Kentucky fan. If we're being honest, and then where Brokeback Mountain took place. Like, what are we talking about?
Somewhere out west, wasn't it like Wyoming or something?
Was it? It was something.
I don't know.
But Kale, I was watching your video earlier. I think 6-6 is a little harsh. I'm not far from you. I just think we hit 7, potentially 8 in the bowl game. I don't think it'll be like a 6-6, and then you win the 7th in the bowl game. I don't think Texas A&M is going to be worth the shit this year, to be honest. I think Jimbo's getting his walking papers this year. I think I said that last time I called in, so that's probably where we defer on like the predictions.
I don't see them having two terrible seasons in a row.
Well, I don't think they'll be terrible, but I think they'll just be average. I think Texas A&M will probably be like a 7-1 program this year, in my opinion. But I mean, they just don't have the quarterback play.
If we took all of that stuff away of not knowing who their coach was, and we just looked at their roster as far as talent composite from the 247 Sports Index, you would look at them and you would think they'd be a top 4 team in the SEC, without question. So when you see that, if you're one of the big alumni folks that are out there and, you're just sitting on your oil well, just donating money, how do we have all this talent? We've dumped all this money into the stadium, and you can't do better than 8-4.
Well,
you can't. I mean, Shane Beamer took a bunch of 3- and 4-star guys and leftovers from a Will Muschamp stank-ass team, won 8 games, and you're going to win 8 games here with all the money that we put into the program. If I'm an alumni from Texas A&M, I mean, I seriously have to put that out there. You can do the same thing with Tennessee. Tennessee won 10 games last year.
What are you washing dishes while we're?
No, I was getting
I'm not doing anything.
Getting a beer. Sorry.
I'm just saying there's a lot of questions that you can have if you're an A&M fan. I think 8-4 gets him fired. I think 9-3 he may keep his job, but he better go 10-2 if he doesn't want a bunch of people with brush popper shirts and cowboy hats stomping in there in their cowboy boots.
Yeah, I think anything lower than, well, hell, maybe even third, but I think anything lower than third in the West, and he's gone.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
LSU, they're kind of emerging, so you got to kind of give
Like-
that to them. But
you know, there's 3 national championship winning coaches in that division, and it's like he's going to get fired because his program's definitely behind the other 2 by far. It's not
well,
even,
and who do they even go after? Like, who are there? Everybody's pretty much signed up long term. Who the hell would they even go after they fire him? I mean, everybody's in their respective. You know, there's nobody you really even think about. You know,
it's a little early for that, but I mean,
They go right up there to Lubbock, Texas, and scoop up Joey McGuire.
why not?
Old Joey McGuire. Going to end up at Texas or Texas A&M. I don't know about them.
What happens if they go there and I'm just spitballing here for a second, but let's say that Bobby Petrino goes in there with that offense and they have a monumentally great offense. They finish second in the conference in offense, but their defense ends up being the shits and they still go 8-4. They're looking around and they're like, wait a minute, our offense was terrible last year. We've got this guy in here. He's resurrected this offense. Jimbo, get the hell out of here. Let's give the program to Bobby Petrino.
Either that or Jimbo will go somewhere else. I mean, not Jimbo, but Petrino. I think Petrino and Riley are honestly the 2 offensive coordinators I can think of that are probably next up to get a head coaching job. But Riley's had a little bit to prove.
They would go after.
You don't think Marcus Satterfield at Nebraska would be in the mix for?
I'll talk about Marcus Satterfield is Mike Bobo Jr., dude. That I can't believe the swing past Sat, man. Swing past Sat. Get ready for it in Nebraska. I just don't understand how you get a freaking job when I don't get it. It didn't.
Yeah,
he
they were
didn't
talking about him,
offense.
and it said that Nebraska had a lot to learn in their playbook. But Satterfield was being patient with them. Okay.
Yeah, a lot to learn, meaning run a 5-yard out route or a swing pass to that.
It's going to be terrible. I can't understand that. And Matt Rule is an offensive guy. He's supposed to be a genius, but yeah, I hope he's calling the plays and not leaving it up to this guy.
Well, maybe he's just using him as a scapegoat in case things go wrong. Got it easy.
Shout out to Cooking with Mama Tori. She says, Rooster just sent my money for the challenge. So there you go. Jackpot's phones over there is going ching, ching, ching as people are getting.
I saw that. I got it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's going to be some interesting stuff there.
I was wondering who you guys think will be better coming into the SEC their first year between Texas and Oklahoma. I don't think y'all really talked about it much in the offseason so far. Granted, there's still a year, but I mean, you can speculate.
I mean, I don't know. A lot of it's going to depend on their schedule too.
Well, who do you think set up like in a better position? I mean, Texas, I think is going to have a lot harder recruiting battle just because the proximity to other schools than Oklahoma might have. So I was kind of thinking Oklahoma might be a little better just in that regard. They got more access.
What do you think, Jackpot?
Because Texas is going to be fighting with, you know what I mean? They're going to be fighting with Texas A&M, just everyone around there.
I think over the years, I think Oklahoma has just been more consistent.
That's true too. Texas has had some down. They certainly is not the Vince Young Texas anymore.
Kentucky Durbin over in chat's giving me a hard time because he's looking at the decor in here. He's making fun of that old school, if you can see it. Over there beside the Penn State flag, the old school Bud Light sign. That thing's been up there for 5 years. I wasn't even really thinking about it. It's got a crack in it, too. That's an old school logo. So I don't know if y'all have noticed it or not, but every Bud Light commercial that they've put, I don't drink that either, by the way, that they've put out the past 3 or 4 months, they like really try to overdo it. Yeah. With somebody in cowboy boots, some macho man, some red-blooded American male.
Or it's always a horse too. Somebody riding a horse with a lasso.
Yeah, I'm like, just let it go, and damn, it'll blow over. Shit.
Yeah,
People are
well,
always going to get drunk. I'm sorry. They are.
Yeah, I don't get into all that nonsense. When I see Texas and Oklahoma, I think a couple of 5-3 teams.
that's
That's
it.
fair. Yeah, I think they'll be 5-3. I think like
You don't think
if
they'll
they're-
ever challenge?
No. How about that? How about fuck no?
It's probably fair.
And I'm just saying, when I really step back and look at it, right now, I mean, they may eventually challenge.
Yeah,
but
maybe off.
I
Yeah, I
don't
mean, Missouri went to the SEC
they're
championship.
not going to be like Kentucky, who's never been to the SEC championship game, or Arkansas. Arkansas,
Ole Miss.
but
Ole
I'm
Miss.
just saying, there's teams that have never been to the SEC championship. I don't think they'll be one of those, but it'll be like a fluke kind of year where their schedule lines up correctly, because if they play each other every season, which they're going to do, they're essentially going to knock each other out of going to Atlanta. In theory, if they have Alabama on the schedule and Georgia on the schedule, some seasons they're going to have both. So they're automatically looking at 3 losses right there. So I think that with the 12-team playoff, they may get into the playoff. They'll have a better chance of getting into the playoff than winning the SEC championship. How's that?
Well, do you think Texas kind of surpasses Texas A&M in that recruiting battle? Because I've always thought once Texas joins up, those days of A&M finishing in the top 8 and recruiting every year are going to be done, because their main draw is, come play in the SEC, come play in the SEC West. Texas, I just think, is an all-around better school to go to than A&M.
You have a
If you
point
remember-
there.
Yeah, if you remember, Texas A&M went to the SEC because they got tired of Texas's shit in the Big 12.
Yeah.
Now they're conference brethren again. I wonder how that meeting went. The SEC
They were
commissioner
pissed.
walks in and says, "Hey, Texas is joining the conference," and the Texas A&M AD goes, "The fuck they are," and the SEC commissioner goes, "I'm sorry, you go sit your ass over there with Vanderbilt and shut the hell up. We're bringing Texas into the conference, and we're bringing Oklahoma too."
Sankey told the board of trustees to go cry with those male cheerleaders. They walk out every week.
Yeah,
But,
they truly don't care.
I mean, Texas A&M, I got no respect for them. Their best years were with a freaking cokehead at quarterback who wasn't worth a damn. Texas A&M, they've had a lot of lucky run-ins with South Carolina. I mean, I think we should have beat them with Lorenzo Nunez, if y'all remember
Yeah,
that.
a lot of people don't think about that game, and that was a back and forth game. That was 2015.
Yeah.
That was actually Perry Orth, the Orth NATO,
Mm-hmm.
went down there and he threw the ball all over that taffy ass Texas A&M secondary that day. Should have won that game. Should have won. Just didn't have quite enough depth. 2016, I think they kind of beat us up a little bit. 2017, we went down to A&M. Jake Bentley, I think he had us up like 17-7.
Yeah, we had the lead.
Yeah, and then we ended up they came back and won. I think 24-17. 2018 was a game. They lost 26-23 at home. I came unglued on that one. 2019, we went out there. We lost 30-6, but a lot of people don't realize or remember about that game. That was a 13-6 ball game with 10 minutes left in it. And, then they picked off who was the quarterback then? What the hell's going on?
Sorry, go ahead.
I think Helinski threw
I was screwed with stuff, so go ahead.
Got taken back like 85 yards for a touchdown, and
Yeah, wasn't that after the Missouri game where he threw the
ball
spike
to himself?
Yeah, and then spiked it and fumbled it at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nobody. Yeah, he did that, and then the Missouri linebacker, whose name was Cale Garrett, by the way. No surprise that he was the smartest guy on the field, because he was like, "Hey, I'm going to go grab that ball because it's live, and that's a touchdown." And everybody was like, "That's a touchdown."
I was so fucking mad when I saw that. I was screaming
Yeah, I
out
was
for you.
too. I could have strangled that yo-yo.
Why is the show turned into the book of Gamecock disappointments? You're 1-8 against Texas A&M. You've lost your last 4 to Mizzou. Do something about it. A wise
guess
man
what,
named
Rob?
Blacktop once said something on this program.
I'll let him finish.
Do something about it. Stop whining about it. Do something about
Hey,
it.
Rob, do something about your school making like
Who's
30 million
whining?
from
We're
Vanderbilt.
just recounting some fucking shit.
Yeah,
Ain't nobody over
You're,
here
you're
whining.
recounting. Y'all remember back when we lost that game where that linebacker Cale Garrett ran it back because he was the smartest guy on the other team because
You hear this guy?
all of our guys
You hear
were
this bozo in the top left?
Yeah, do you remember when we fumbled the punt with 2 minutes left and
Yeah,
we
Nate
lost
Atkins,
31-30?
baby.
I do.
Antonio Butterfinger Williams can't hold a punt.
Hey,
I'm
once
glad
again,
Beamer
again,
kicked
I'm
him
just
out.
wondering-
He ain't worth the
I
damn.
know that they're retiring Alshon Jeffrey's jersey at the Mississippi State game. When are they hanging that Clemson banner? I'll bet for the Jacksonville State game because you got plenty of room
Hey,
in that.
We hung
State.
that Clemson banner when we hung the L on your ESPN.
We
schedule, buddy.
hung that banner on whatever it was, fucking November 27th last year.
Yeah.
Oh,
And that's when we planted our flag and stormed your field.
Congratulations.
That's when we hung our banner.
Biscuit has a good question. How did you go to Clemson if you hate them so much? That's a good question.
I mean, somebody's got to go there. Damn.
yeah, I mean, he was just helping level things out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, some lifelong Clemson fan whose dream it was to come here, now they can't.
I think the pretty girls on the hill looked at you and said, nah, you better go to Columbia.
There ain't nothing but fat girls on the hill, Rob. Let's calm down.
Shut up.
I've been there. I know how it is.
Yeah,
Nothing
they
but
sit
big
on the hill
girls.
because they can't fit in the damn bleachers.
Damn straight. They can hardly fit in the metal detector scale.
You
They got a Oompa
you got-
Loompa waddle up there.
Well, they don't have a Planet Fitness over there. I mean, what's going on? There's
What's
like
up? Oh, well, it's that Canes, man. They love those damn chicken tenders.
They hang out. They probably hang out at Church's Fried Chicken.
What's wrong with Church's Fried Chicken?
Nothing, but they have mashed potatoes and gravy there.
Damn right.
That's what puts that little Santa jelly on them. That Raising Cane's is good for you.
All right. Do you have anything else for the show, buddy?
No, y'all take care. Make sure to go support your local UTS drivers.
Yeah. Well,
There you
make sure. Are you in the contest, sir?
No, I'm about to send in. I get paid coming up. I just had to pay rent, so.
All right. Well, get in the damn contest.
I'm trying to, man.
Biscuit's gonna finish ahead of you, by the way. There you go. Have a good
We'll
day.
see.
All right. final
Lisa
call
says
for-
my granddaughter goes to Clemson. She ain't fat. Not yet.
Lisa brings her granddaughter to the live shows and we do them, and
Not yet. If she's a freshman, she's got time. I'm just kidding.
yeah, we're not gonna mock. Come on, that's not nice. The link is there if you want to get into the thing there. BVD says he's winning the pot. Look, BVD is like trying to win he wants a dog, and now he wants to win the pot too. I mean, he's a high maintenance dude on this channel.
I know. I mean, my God. I mean, what else do you want, dude? You want a Mercedes? New house?
We'll see how that goes. All right, final call for stuff here. By the way, Wednesday night jackpot, we're going to pick games. Quick rundown here on the games
God,
we're
it's been
picking.
a while, hasn't it? Man.
We haven't picked games in forever. So the games we're going to pick in week 1, and you know what? We might as well look at the week 2 games too. That might be fun. Navy and Notre Dame. Navy's a 21.5 point underdog. That game is in Ireland. Why they're playing in Ireland, I do not know. UTEP goes on the road to Jacksonville State, a future Gamecock opponent. Jackpot will be watching every play in that game as Jacksonville State is getting 1.5 at home. UMass and New Mexico State. UMass is an 8.5 point dog. Hawaii is heading to Vanderbilt, even though their stadium is the shits right now. Hawaii is a 17.5 point underdog in that matchup against the mighty 3-win Commodores. Ohio will go to San Diego State. San Diego State's a 3.5 point favorite. Southern Cal is a 27.5 point favorite over San Jose State. And Louisiana Tech will welcome in Florida International. They are a 10.5-point favorite there, Jackpot.
Over
Look at some
FIU.
Let's look at some of the week 2 games just for fun here before we get out of here, Jackpot. Let's see here. Let's look at, of course, we'll have
real quick. Do you realize that Navy or Notre Dame only beat Navy last year 35-32?
Yeah. Notre Dame was trying to figure their shit out at the beginning of the season, if you remember.
Well, this was at the end of the season.
Oh, this is at the end of the season. I thought it was at the beginning.
It was the third from the last game for Navy. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, look, I'm looking at some of the week 2 games. You got Notre Dame and NC State, Utah and Baylor. Okay. Let's just look at the ACC matchups first. So, week 2 games, Vanderbilt at Wake. I don't know if that'll make the top 10 or not. Notre Dame at NC State. Holy Cross is playing Boston College. Purdue and Virginia Tech. SC State goes on the road to Georgia Tech. Charleston Southern and Clemson. Well, you know what? We're not putting that game in the mix, Jackpot.
What's
that? In week 2, Charleston Southern goes to Clemson. We're not putting that game.
We are going to put that in the mix. That game will have a line on it.
I won't find the line.
Texas, here's the Gamecock games in there every year. It's tradition.
But we've had weeks where we didn't put Clemson's line in there when they were playing bullshit U, or South Carolina's playing bullshit U. We've had some weeks where we didn't do that. Anyway, here's a game that I could lobby for, Jackpot. A&M on the road at Miami. That's an interesting game. That might be in the mix. App State at North Carolina. That could be interesting too. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh.
Was last year.
Yeah, that's kind of a sneaky, interesting game. Also in week 2, let's look at some other matchups here. You've got, this barn burner, Eastern Kentucky and Kentucky. Ole Miss playing Tulane. Currently, those are 2 ranked teams. Well, Texas and Alabama, I'm sure, will be in the mix. And we'll do Furman in South Carolina. I don't have a problem with that. Auburn playing California. That game will probably be in the mix as well. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, if Auburn can go out there and get that win, I think they'll certainly, because last year, do you think they would have won it? I don't know. Cal's not a good team. They're picked to finish near the bottom of the Pac-12, but that's still a long trip to make, and you're playing an opponent that you really don't know a whole heck of. I mean, we're in the age of click on your phone and look at a video of anything you want to.
Right.
So we can't say you don't know anything about them, but it's a lot different than having some experience playing against them, understanding it, playing on that field. It can be tough for Auburn.
You've got also an interesting matchup with Colorado. Their game with Nebraska. Maybe that'll be a game that gets into the mix. I don't know. Iowa State.
Marcus Satterfield versus Prime.
Yeah. Someone posted something about apparently Deion Sanders had 3 toes amputated over the offseason. Will they have more wins than he lost toes this year?
Probably not. Isn't it convenient? Isn't it convenient that his surgery to fix those bucked up toes was during Pac-12 media days?
Oh yeah,
that's real convenient. It's just like, and they were showing some stuff off the other day, and I don't know if they're going to go into games like this, but his players, instead of having nothing on the back of their jersey or having the last name on the back of their jersey, they have their social media handles. on the back of their jersey. Like at Travis Hunter 21 or whatever the fuck. What are we doing? I mean,
Brock says his toes hit the transfer portal.
they did. And they didn't get picked up.
Very good, Brock. Deion Sanders.
They got packed up with that Louis luggage.
In one season, Deion Sanders completely got rid of his entire team, got an entire new team through the transfer portal, left the conference that they were in, and lost 3 toes. That's one hell of an off season there for Deion Sanders. They could go 3-9. It's a mess.
I mean,
Mike says,
I don't know. It's like I don't know. It's like everything he does. It has to be some kind of spectacle. Got to be for attention. Got to.
Hold on. Billy says y'all be nice. BVD's in here. Look, we're not mocking BVD. Deion Sanders had mangled toes from his time in the pros. That's why he lost his toes. Yeah. And the doctors found him. They just put him in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
Anyway.
BVD says BVD can take a leg joke, fellas. Let him fly. See,
I bet BVD could take that one of the fake legs and swing that thing like a baseball bat. I'm sure he could.
Probably so.
Mike wants to know how many are in the contest. Not enough. Join the contest. It's in the link. We have had at least 1 or 2 get into the contest here while we're on the show.
While we're on the air. That's when you know you've arrived. When you're actually doing a show, recording it, and you've got people ching in your Venmo account, putting money in there to add to the pot to get themselves in that contest because they think they can pick some games.
Isn't it funny how far the contest and the show has come, Jackpot? Because, we did the contest. We've been doing this for a while now, but as far as it taking off, like the year that it's went from, I don't know, 20 people in it to last year we had close to 100, I think it was. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was insane.
Yeah.
So
9 years.
Yeah. Anyway, Jackpot, you have anything else? Make sure you guys get in the Callaway's Pick'em Challenge. We really appreciate it. What else you got, Jackpot? You good?
Yeah, like I say.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. We can do this before we go. Low Elo Joe says, explain Jackpot for the newbies. Can I do this? I want to do it. His name is Jackpot because he, when he started this channel, he did it with like scratch off lottery tickets, and he called himself Carolina Jackpot. And then he started doing some college football content. And then I was doing a podcast with our brother, the Comrade, and we decided that we wanted to bring Kale into the mix with us. Comrade left the podcast because he wanted to do baseball or whatever the hell the Comrade's doing over in the Gulag. But the Jackpot name is stuck with Mr. Kale Hall here, and he's kept the channel name the same thing. And we just keep building and building, right? Is that fair?
That's it. Oh, yeah. By the way, on Thursday night, that would be the 24th, this coming Thursday, going to be doing a live stream, a collaboration with Sports Talk Jay, a very popular Tennessee YouTuber. He's doing a great job over there. Enjoy his content. And that's the collab you didn't know you needed. Not sure it's going to be on my channel, his channel, or BVD's channel, but we're going to be on somebody's channel Thursday night. And when I figure out what time it's going to be, or when I'm told what time to be there, I'll let y'all know on Wednesday night show where we pick our winners for our week 0 games. We're going to lock them in.
BVD says it's going to be on his channel. So,
okay.
Are you telling me that
I'm thinking an old boat may come sink some Irish dream on Saturday. Hey.
So let me make sure that I understand this. I normally, if I need information on the Tennessee folks, I normally go to BVD's page. Are you telling me that I should subscribe to Sports Talk Jay? Is he going to be worth my time, or is he just going to be ripping goalposts and throwing them in the river and all that other shit? 'Cause
He may rip goalposts and throw them in the river. I can't speak on that, but you certainly won't be disappointed with your subscription to Sports Talk Jay. So
Kentucky Durban says more proof that Jackpot has taken the McDonald's bag from the UT cheaters. No, Jackpot got a Chick-fil-A bag. He got God's chicken, by God. Damn it. All right.
sorry, I didn't come up to Kentucky and take y'all's Bob Evans bag or
no, he offered you Kroger points and you said I don't shop at Kroger. So
yeah, we don't have a Kroger in my area.
is that fair what I said about the Jackpot stuff? I mean, that's close, right?
Yeah, you pretty much hit the nail on the head there. We stopped today. We did stop and was in Georgia. Went down. We're going to go to the lake. We decided to go on down. We went to the flea market, and I'm in this town, Jefferson, Georgia, I think, or city, I guess it is. It's, I don't know how far we were. We may have been an hour outside of Atlanta, and there was a sign there for a Kroger. Off the interstate for the Kroger gas station. So I'm like, oh, cool. There's a Kroger down here. I want to go check it out because I like to go in Kroger. And we went down here, and I mean, it's like in the middle of nowhere. And there's a Kroger over here on this side of the highway. And this is a 4-lane highway, and then over on this side of the highway, there's a Publix. And you don't see any houses from like 2 miles from the interstate to the Kroger. But when we go in the Kroger, I mean, this place has got like 12 checkout lines opened up. They're backed up all over the place. The U-Scan lines are full. I'm like, my God. I'm like, I didn't know there was just damn many people that live down here. I'm like, where the hell they all come from? Because, I mean, this is in northeast Georgia. I think this is just like some little 2 traffic light town, and this is like booming. So
all right,
there's
I'm
a lot of people.
Subscribe to Sports Talk Jay, because if my podcast co-host is going over there into the land of the Vols, and we all love BVD, but if he tells me Sports Talk Jay is worth my while, then I might try to listen to one of those programs. Let's see here. Papa B says Kroger's prices are too high. Fair enough. I guess that's a good way to end the program. All right, Jackpot, we got to pick games on Wednesday. Enter the contest. We'll see you then.
Thank you, guys.